Welcome to ESN, the eSport Network. Sugar Steve Rosswick here with J Money Jason Anderson, and we are at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. You're probably saying, Sugar Steve, what? And I'm telling you, we're at Gateway. That's right, the track we know and love, Gateway. But if you're expecting some oval racing, you are in for a twist, an M. Night Shyamalan twist. That's right, we're running the road course here, J-Money. We don't have Riverside. We wanted something that had that sweeping high-speed corner, something with a little bit of high-speed, technical S's and that sort of thing, with that sort of Riverside feel that wasn't a traditional track. We've got Road America, we've got Sears Point, but those are basic tracks. We wanted to do something a little different, and we came up with Gateway here. You were the mastermind behind this. Give us a little reasoning for why Gateway and why you're so excited about this race. I know that in practice things were super exciting.
Yeah, so the first time, and first of all, you were right, I was wrong, which that never happens, but it did this time. Last week we talked about Gateway, and I thought that it had changed to a different track, but in all, here we are at Gateway, and initially this was the very first track picked to fill in Riverside because it's got some of the key factors. It's not as long as, of course, as Riverside was, but it does have a really long straightaway that goes into a banked turn. Even though it's slightly banked, not as banked and as cool as the Riverside final turn, but the final turn here is pretty cool, and it's a long sweeping turn that goes into a straightaway, lets these cars really stretch their legs, get up on the gears, makes an awesome passing zone that actually, at the end of that high-speed zone, they got to grab some brake, and they got to make another turn. Where we used to have the whoopsies, or the S's of Riverside, now we're going to have a hard left-hander that goes into the infield S's that poops them right back out on the backside of the track and sends them right back into that bank turn. So all in all, I think this is the one race that we did hold here a few months back. Well, it might have been a lot of months back, though. Put on a really good show with a small amount of cars. I can't wait to see what these guys do with these cars, especially now that all of these drivers have got a pretty good amount of experience in these cars to really push these cars to the limit.
Well, that's exactly what they're going to have to do. A lot of high-speed braking zones here, especially down into turn one. It's going to be real sketch there after the first lap. We've only got a couple of drivers here decided to show up. It's Mark Dudley on the pole. James Somke starts second, then Aaron Hicks, Tyler Berry, Sonny Thompson, Drew Ballesteros, Brandon Feeney, and Jason Taylor. Green flag in the air. We are racing here at Gateway, and on the outside there, James Somke looks like he may have missed a shift. That's going to be Mark Dudley out to an early lead down into that first braking zone. They're not at top speed yet, so nice tiptoeing through this first corner and heading down to this short chute, down this straightaway and heading towards this medium speed left and right. Sonny Thompson out into the grass. And here comes Tyler Berry, going to take a look. A very flow to this track. I like it. It's not one of those geometric F1 Tilke tracks. This is a very flowing, curvy sort of track. Reminds me of the sort of tracks that they had back in the 80s that you'd see IMSA and the sports cars running on. A lot of rounded corners and some high-speed sketchiness, which is the best part of any road course. As Mark Dudley's going to kind of extend his lead here. Tyler Berry going to go up to second. Sonny Thompson in third. I'm going to watch Drew Ballesteros. So that 22 car was very fast in practice, did not turn a qualifying lap, so he had to start at the back. But I do know that Drew Ballesteros has some speed in that car. The problem is his number one rival here, Mark Dudley, who is running similar lap times, is way out in front of this field. So if Drew Ballesteros wants to reel them in, he does not want to let them get too far.
I tell you what, 20 laps might not sound like a whole lot, but it's going to be a pretty good distance here tonight at this road course. As we can see, these lap times are looking to, a pretty good ways over a minute here. So far, the best is 1:13, 1 minute 13 seconds for Mark Dudley there in the lead, and that's with no one he's got to check up for. That's him able to get back on the hammer as fast as he wants to. We got a lot of race left for Drew Ballesteros to methodically and carefully mark his way up the what's that, the thing that's got all those positions that guys are in? Pylon, yeah, work his way up the pylon. It's been a long day. I got some sun today. But anyway, we got plenty of race left for that 22 to really work his way up there and give us a battle here.
Well, I tell you what, one driver that's kind of surprising me is Tyler Berry in that number 50 car. He is traditionally a short dirt track racer. He's at home on those bull ring dirt tracks and modifieds, dirt late model sprint cars, that sort of thing. And we've seen him stretching his legs here on Thursday nights with us in the 87 series. But here on a road course, he's on pavement in a stock car on a road course. That's literally the opposite of what he's used to. But Tyler Berry turning some very respectable and consistent laps here in second position. But Drew Ballesteros is up to third already, having himself a tear as he heads through this flowing infield section here. Very fast, that number 22 car. You said it, J Money. This is a high-speed track. We're going to cover a lot of ground here. 20 laps is going to be quite the distance for these drivers. Pit stop's probably not going to be a consideration, but the one thing you should consider is consistency. Every time you blow a corner, there comes somebody off right there. That was James Somke. As he re-entered the oval there, kind of missed the apex and ended up in the grass. But yeah, you don't want to miss your marks. Every mark you miss is just a chunk of time that you cannot get back. So these drivers are going to have to be as consistent as possible and minimize mistakes, because somebody who's hitting their marks all the time and not losing time is going to gain considerable track position.
So, talking about something that's really going to change something up, and it's fun that it was unbeknownst to you, but hopefully it's not unbeknownst to these drivers. There is going to be one required pit stop. They only got about 13 laps of fuel. They're going to have to pit at some point during this race to make it the full distance. So that's something that is going to be a huge factor, because there's not going to be caution flags. Nothing's really going to stop this race. You got to we're talking about minimizing every little thing on the track. You got to minimize everything that could possibly go wrong on pit road, which in a simulator especially, there's a ton of things that can go wrong. Speeding on entry, speeding on exit, not hitting your pit stall correctly, not having the right selection. Say these guys end up, the car still feels good at lap 13. They're not going to change tires. They're going to take a splash of gas and go. If they forget to turn those things off, yeah, they got fresh tires, but it might not do them any good. They might have lost all that time on pit road, losing all that valuable track position for a non-caution race. So a lot of stuff going on here for this race. And right now, Studley Mark Dudley looking good out there. He's, who would have thought old Dudley would have known how to whip this car around a road course, but here he is, looking pretty solid so far as we start to claw away at this 20-lap event here.
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Studley Mark Dudley reminds me a lot of Mr. Excitement Jimmy Spencer in his driving style. The sorts of tracks that Jimmy Spencer always did well at, so does Studley Mark Dudley. He's got that sort of aggressive edge to him, but he has the speed, and he's been on quite the tear. This summer break has been a big friend of Studley Mark Dudley. We have seen him get some really good runs, top fives, top threes over the past couple of months. And it's no surprise to me that here on a road course, he is stretching his legs, because old Jimmy Spencer could wheel a road course here and there as well. So I'd say that is no surprise. But what is catching my attention here is Drew Ballesteros driving by, motoring through the inside through that fast sweeping last corner there, coming down the front straightaway. He will get the second position as he drives it deep down into turn number 1. Hits his apex, and he is going to set his sights on Studley Mark Dudley, who is about 5 seconds up the track.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I mean, who knows what it's going to take. Now, last week here in this series between Drew Ballesteros and Studley Mark Dudley, we had quite the confrontation. It was fireworks, to say the least here. These cars getting together. And, both of their driving styles have been completely they're completely opposite. If we're going to call Studley Mark Dudley Mr. Excitement, we got Mr. Methodical as Drew Ballesteros. I mean, everything is kind of planned, calculated, cool. He's like the Iceman out there on the field. Now, when those two collide, literally, it turns into, it's a racing deal, man. You're always going to have, you're always going to have these kind of rivalries. These guys are matching right up for it. This race is really going to come down to these two. What's going to happen when they meet each other on a road course? I mean, they barely like driving next to each other on an oval, or when they got plenty of room. And here we're going to throw them into these hairpin turns on a road course. This could be spelling out disaster.
Well, I mean, it used to be back in the day, back in the 90s, the road course races were a little, I don't know, they were fun, but if you wanted to watch road course racing, you watched IMSA or SCCA Trans Am. But in the past few years in NASCAR, the road courses are more notorious for the chrome horn, moving people out of the way, the bump and run, than the short tracks are. So that's definitely where people like to get even. You have plenty of opportunities, plenty of braking zones, and plenty of places where you can really ruin someone's day if you choose to. So the road course definitely gives these drivers an opportunity, and we'll see. These drivers, they don't forget. You know, somebody runs you the wrong way, they piss you off once. Okay, but happens 2 or 3 times, then you all of a sudden realize on the track that you're not going to cut them as much leeway. We have a smoker on the front straightaway here. That is Aaron Hicks, I believe. Heavy damage to that car. Not sure what happened. And that was actually in front of our leader coming off that fast sweeping final corner. A little bit loose, and he hits the inside wall a ton. Aaron Hicks, unfortunately, with some bad luck early in this race.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. You know, I mean, you might be sliding. It's tracks like this that just really grind my gears because, you know, you're sliding into the grass. You can't stop it at that point. You're just along for the ride. You see some tires coming up and you're thinking, finally, this will give me a nice little cushion. We'll back it out, get it going again. Well, guess what? Those tractor tires are full solid with concrete. You completely total your car. It's junk. You're not getting anything out of it again. So yeah, it's definitely that kind of situation that plays out. This is one of those tracks that grinds my gears.
Well, the other thing that grinds my gears is making stupid mistakes on pit road. And I believe we're getting pretty close here to our pit window whenever these drivers are at least going to come down for that mandatory stop. And it's real easy. You said it a few minutes ago. It's so easy to speed going onto pit road, coming off of pit road, to just lock it up and slide through the box, and you got to put it in reverse. That's an extra 10 seconds right there. Feels like an eternity. Yeah, there's so many opportunities to make mistakes, and being consistent, and these drivers at the front of this field are being consistent. Now, I will say I'm not sure about the pace that these drivers are setting, but Drew Ballesteros is etching into that lead. He has whittled it down by 2 seconds. It was about 5.5 seconds a few laps ago, down to just 3.5 seconds. So Drew Ballesteros doing a good job of reeling him in. We'll see, especially when pit stops start, we'll see how that interval changes.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is, and it's really right here. He's able to get on the gas just a little bit before Mark Dudley is here, especially coming out of the turn. And this is your only chance to hit fourth gear, this straightaway here. This is the only chance you get to really make up some ground. And it starts with exiting that kind of last turn before you go into the speedway turn. And that way you kind of maximize the drive of that car all the way into that heavy braking zone going back into turn 1. So I think that's where we see a lot of the delta difference for all you mathematicians out there. Which, talking about mathematicians, I don't know what frickin' Ryan Wash is doing missing this, because we're talking about, you know, Stelly Mark Dudley or Drew Ballesteros wouldn't have had a snowball's chance in somewhere hot if Ryan Wash showed up to sprinkle some of that crazy road racing witchcraft he's got out here.
Well, to be fair, it's probably for the best, because it's almost not fair when Ryan Wash shows up on the road course, because he's basically in a class in his own. We're going to have to start handicapping him somehow. Maybe pull the old Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding trick right before the road course races. See if he could race with one leg. I don't know. But we'll have to figure something out because he is very good on these road courses. But hey, that's great news for the rest of these drivers in this field, because they do not have to worry about Ryan Wash on the track. Another driver that's no slouch on the road courses is Jeff Ward, but Jeff Ward said he would be out of town, so obviously not here either. So a lot of points to be had here tonight. Drivers like Brandon Feeney, Jason Taylor, Studley Mark Dudley, even Drew Ballesteros. Remember, Drew Ballesteros missed about a handful of races at the beginning of the season. He had basically moved here to the Charlotte area and took a couple weeks to actually do the physical moving part. So he missed a couple of races. He's down some of these points. So a night like tonight is a great way for these drivers to gain some extra points and try to really get to the end of the season. Because here's the thing, J Money, we don't do the playoff chase thing here in this 87 series. This is straight up old school racing.
No, yeah, this is it. This is the classic stuff right here. So yeah, all these guys really starting to gain back up that points points pile-on or pile of crap, whatever you want to call it. This is a good points day for the guys that are here.
I'm not sure what happened to Sonny Thompson in the 33 car, but that car is pretty damaged. Going slow, the front suspension all cockeyed. Oh, and he looks like he locked up the brakes, went up into the tire wall there, rejoining the oval on the backside of the track. He'll keep it going, but he'll bring it down pit road. They're going to have to really try to fix some of the damage there because the wheels are all,
yeah, they don't look right.
They're all Buscemi'd up. While that's happening, however, Mark Dudley still out in front. Drivers making pit stops here. Drew Ballesteros and Tyler Berry, perhaps, as Tyler Berry will go around. Not sure what happened there. Same spot as Sonny Thompson. A little bit too much rear brake in this case, and he goes for a half spin. Will lose a lot of time, but he will continue on. So these drivers making their pit stops, their required pit stops, our leader, Mark Dudley, coming down pit road right now as we speak.
This is where it's at. Dudley needs to really, really focus on this pit stop. He's got to hit it perfectly. Drew Ballesteros has been constantly laying down some faster laps, so that gap that he had, he needs to maintain it here with the pit stop. If he's going to have a chance to make the end of this race really count here.
That's 100% true. This is really this is all the marbles right here. This pit stop, you've got to be able to nail this pit stop. You cannot lose any time as you rejoin the race or speeding on pit road, all of that stuff, because he was only a few seconds behind, and he is coming off the final corner right now. Drew Ballesteros, Mark Dudley still sitting on pit road here, so.
Studley's changing tires. Did we see Drew Ballesteros change tires?
That I don't know. Studley did change some tires, and that will help because he has rejoined the race right behind Drew Ballesteros. So the interval between those two drivers just about a second or so. Currently, your race leader would be Jason Taylor. I believe he has yet to make his pit stop, as actually he will bring to the apron right there. So Jason Taylor going to bring it down to make his round of scheduled pit stop mandated. We went down there as men and we mandated it. That's why it's called a mandate. And
can we get some feminated? We gotta even it out so we don't get sued or whatever the hell.
Yeah, well, you can woman-date something, but it's,
This was woman-dated.
So all you ladies out there, the next time you got to let them know you're woman-dating it, because that's the... Now, actually, J Money, your race leader is James Somke right now in that number 77/1 car. He is yet to make his pit stop. He is actually about 11 or so seconds in front of our race leaders. So still yet to make his stop is James Somke. And here's the question. Maybe he came down early. There could be some strategy going on here. When you've got a mandatory pit stop, you've seen in some of those GT3 sort of races where they'll just either come down at the last possible second, or they'll come down as soon as they possibly can to get it out of the way. So with tire wear being a thing, I don't know if that would be a huge benefit, but he's definitely out in front.
Yeah, there's a battle we got between Drew Ballesteros and Studley Mark Dudley right now. Studley's going to go to the inside. He's going to barely clear himself in front of the 22. That was a battle that came out of the last of the infield turn.
And that very well could possibly have been for the race win, because these two drivers on fresh tires are just gobbling up James Somke right now as they're about to catch him as they come to that short shoot here, as they head towards that fast left-right. Well, somewhat fast left-right combo there. And then they go down into that little horseshoe. I don't have corner names or anything, but James Somke actually going to move aside and let those drivers go by. So that will give Mark Dudley the race lead. Drew Ballesteros here in second position, both in striking distance of one another. So we'll have to keep an eye on this a little bit. With that close of racing here on a road course, J Money, you miss one shift, you miss one braking point, you so much as miss an apex, and that driver will be breathing down your neck.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is going to be close racing. And also, who's really going to come out on top of this right now? So James Somke has not been to pit road. We checked, we mandated to make sure there was a check put out there, and we've got it verified. He did not go down pit road, so he's on pit road now, actually, completely out of gas. So Jason Taylor's going to end up, after that pit cycle, getting third. So he's gone from last place to third. That's the biggest mover of the race right now, is Jason Taylor, as he is. Now, Jason Taylor hates road courses. So the fact that he can start in the back, work his way up to third, this tells me that he's either got like someone like Matt Ridgway driving for him under his name, or he really put his nose to the grindstone here and made sure he was going to have a good strategy and got some practice laps in before tonight's race.
Well, if that's the case, then Matt Ridgway needs to realize that the number 13 really is holding him back. But yeah, that's just a testament to the type of driver that Jason Taylor is. He is a smart driver. He is a consistent driver, and he will slowly and methodically work his way through this field, even if he doesn't like that specific track. So yeah, he doesn't like road course racing, but doing a great job in that third position. As the lead has opened up just a bit now, Mark Dudley about a second and a half over the number 22 of Drew Ballesteros. With just a handful of laps to go, I'm going to run through the field real quick as we get closer to the finish of this event. Leading the race, Mark Dudley in that Chrysler LeBaron number 18. Drew Ballesteros runs second in that number 22. Then it's Jason Taylor in third. Tyler Berry in fourth. The dirt racer having himself a great run here on the road course in that fourth position. And fifth is Brandon Feeney in the number 38, the friend from the Great White North. And then it will be James Somke in the sixth position. Seventh position is Sonny Thompson, a couple laps down after having to get that damage fixed. And then Aaron Hicks has finally rejoined the race after that hard hit on the front straightaway. His pit crew getting that car fixed, and he is out there turning laps. So nobody giving up here at the road course.
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily fixed. What was it down? I mean, they got it running. It looks like a car from 1987 because it's missing the left front fender. I mean, they did a good job getting that car back out there.
They did. I think iRacing still needs to just have the option when you come down pit road, just cut the nose, sawzall the whole nose off.
Yeah, they should have what would be cool is to actually show guys, you know, how long, what was that record engine change that I think Richard Petty's crew did or whatever? It was like 35 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
The whole engine out. Like back in that day, you could blow an engine and only go 8 laps down because they would just pull the whole engine out, put your backup in right there on pit road and send you back out there.
Yeah, that would be cool. Hey, look, iRacing's getting rain here soon. So after rain is implemented, obviously, they're going to have to start focusing on actual pit guys. I want a dude coming over. I want him jumping up and down on the hood. If I'm driving a street stock, I want him to have several different types of bats and crowbars. Oh, we got a driver spinning through the horseshoe there. That is
Berry.
Tyler Berry in the number 50 car.
He had to get it sideways somehow.
Well, you know, that dirt track nature. He'll get it rejoined, and he won't lose any positions, but he will lose a little bit of ground, a little bit of time. As our leader, Mark Dudley, going to work his way around Aaron Hicks off the pace there with that damaged race car. And it's going to be about 2 laps to go here for these drivers. 2 more laps around this 1.6 mile, very unique track. I like it. I like this track. I think that they should run this track more. I mean, it's a cool layout. It's kind of old school. It's fast, but not too fast. And there's plenty of passing opportunities to be had. A couple of them shady, but hey, that's what separates the pros from the tourists. So
Pros from the not so pros.
the pros from the cons. Well, coming off of turn number, well,
Whatever.
NASCAR turn 4. Coming off of NASCAR turn 4, it's going to be white flag in the air one more time around for Studley. Mark Dudley in the number 18 car. Drew Ballesteros having himself a great run in that second position, has just one more lap, 1.6 miles to make something happen around this track. Jason Taylor, he'll cross the line, taking one more to go, and he has been having himself a very uneventful race, and that is a great thing here on a road course. Tyler Berry having himself a couple more problems here as he rejoins the track. That will close the gap to Brandon Feeney, so we'll have to keep an eye on that battle here. But at the front, at the point, it is Studley, Mark Dudley, in that number 18 car, who is making his final entry here into that last infield section as he rejoins the oval off of corner number something. And he'll make his way through NASCAR 3 and 4, this fast sweeping corner. And it will be off of NASCAR 4 as he heads down the front straightaway one final time. Here at the road course, it will be Studley, Mark Dudley, who wins in the Chrysler LeBaron, the first Chrysler win in probably 25 years. Drew Ballesteros will finish second. Jason Taylor still on his final lap here. He's going to make his way around the final corner as he heads to the straightaway here as he secures himself the third position. But a lot of drivers having some problems here. Tyler Berry in the 50 car is still having some issues. Brandon Feeney, James Somke, these drivers kind of squished together as Tyler Berry going to make his way through NASCAR 3 and 4 for the last time. Checkered flag in the air there for Tyler Berry as he crosses the line in fourth position. The battle here for fifth will be Brandon Feeney in the number 38. James Somke comes home sixth. Sonny Thompson seventh. I gotta say, I like this track. This is a good little layout. It's kind of a short road course, and it's got enough room for these drivers to stretch their legs and put their elbows out. And we had some great running here.
Yeah, no, I've been trying to get this track on schedules for a long time, and I'm glad we just kind of mandated that it goes on the schedule, because it fosters some really good battles in the classic kind of layout, and especially with the curbs and the rumble strips, all of that stuff, it helps offset the car, which gives you good road course racing. It's just a very classic, awesome track, especially in these bias ply tired cars.
The best kind of best type of tires, bias ply tires. Let me get our race winner, Studley Mark Dudley, up here. If I could do it. There we go. Studley Mark Dudley, you got me, man?
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Now, I knew it would be a matter of time before you parked that Chrysler LeBaron in Victory Lane, and here you are at the Gateway Road Course, and you're in Victory Lane. I was saying, you're a lot like Mr. Excitement Jimmy Spencer. You do the ovals, you do the road courses, you can even drive in a straight line. How'd you do it, man? What a run here tonight.
Yeah, I just tried to be consistent, save tires best as I can in case someone run up on me and wanted to try something. But, I mean, I ain't turned a lap on this track ever until like 10 minutes before the race started. So I was just kind of like feeling up the track the whole time, but being consistent and not making any mistakes is what got it done.
Well, I'd say you did a great job. Now, how is this track different from the road courses maybe that you're used to? Because this isn't a purpose-built road course; it's a roval essentially. And from up here in the broadcast booth, I've never run this layout, but it actually looked like a fun little track.
I liked it a lot based on the fact that it was flat. I do really good on flat tracks. So, a lot of road courses have up and down hills and a bunch of other stuff that can upset the car. Well, this one, it's all about throttle control and don't have to worry about other elements. So I really, really enjoyed this track.
Well, you did a really great job. Now, you were able to get the fastest qualifying effort. I think some of these other drivers struggling in qualifying, only a couple drivers actually posting a time. Do you think that helped? I know that Drew Ballesteros had to start at the back. Was that relieving for you, or did you not even really think about that?
Uh, with him starting in the back, I knew I had a little time to just, like I said, save tires and not push it. I just pushed it for about 2 laps to get me a nice little lead. I think I had like a 5-second lead there for a while. And just then at that point, I just cruised around the track, like I said, not making any mistakes, just trying my best. And then I seen Drew tried a different pit strategy than me. So then I was like, okay, when I went and at the last second got tires and fuel, and then I went for it and got around him. And then after I got a few seconds ahead of him again, I was cruising, waiting to see if he was going to catch up or not.
Well, I got to ask you, are you excited about this win? I mean, this is a pretty big deal. You've been having a great couple of months here. The summer has been treating you well. And with this win now, that's really going to be good for the points, but also really good for momentum purposes.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's so amazing to finally win one. I have been so close so many times, and I've had some of the worst luck. So to finally get a win, and on a road course of all things, I was expecting
Right?
a sport track or a super speedway. I'm very, very excited.
That's an awesome job. Let's hear those sponsors, everybody that helps you out on that Chrysler LeBaron number 18.
Oh, yeah. Mendenhall Pest Control, Marsh Performance, Mark Dudley Performance, Choice Tire and Automotive, Piedmont Aviation, and Piedmont Propulsion Systems.
Thank you so much. A great win here tonight. Good job, man. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you, bud.
That's your race winner, Studley, Mark Dudley, first career win. A great job here. I've got our second place driver. Having a hard time grabbing these names here tonight for some reason. Don't mind me. It's just my first time. Drew Ballesteros, you got me?
Hey, long time no talk.
No, long time no talk indeed. But here we are, and I got to say, you and Studley Mark Dudley were the two fastest drivers here at this road course. I was asking about qualifying. I'll ask you, Drew, do you think having to start at the back had an effect on the outcome of the race?
No, it was a small enough field. It didn't really have a big problem. I wanted to start at the back because I thought there was going to be one bowling ball in the field that would just pile through all the cars. I did not want to be one of the pins because the past few weeks, I don't know if you've watched the races the past few weeks. I bet a pin, so didn't want that to happen.
I have actually been watching the races. I know that it doesn't seem like I'm up here in the booth watching the race, but I do actually pay attention from time to time.
Yeah. So I try to pit ahead of him, but tires are just too crucial, and he had that 3 and 4 figured out, and I burned off my front end. Both front tires are just torn to shreds, and I couldn't turn. So, good job to Studley Mark Dudley.
Yeah, I'd say good job to you too, Drew, because it doesn't matter where we go, whether it's a short track, a speedway, super speedway, road course, you always find yourself up there in the top, 3, top 5, up there in the mix. And that's a testament to you as a driver. I mean, being able to get it done everywhere we go. So even here on a road course, I know you fell just a hair short, but you still got to be proud of the accomplishment here, knowing that you can race with the best anywhere we go.
Yeah, tonight was fun. I'm normally really bad at road courses. I did a road course last night. I did Coda in the Xfinity car, and it was a nightmare. So tonight was more enjoyable. But I told Jeff Ford last week, there's a difference between being fast and winning. Jeff Ford can win, and he's fast. I need to put together the finishes, and hopefully next season that'll be the time to do it.
It could be a luck thing. I don't know. Maybe get a rabbit's foot or maybe get some crystals. I don't know. My girlfriend talks about the crystals and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it helps. Turn the luck around could be a big thing. But I got to say, with good luck, bad luck, doesn't matter. You're always hustling that car around the track. Good job here tonight. Let's hear those sponsors, man.
Yeah, thanks to VHG Fitness and Majority Money and Maryland Co. Thanks to everybody watching. Thanks to you guys for a good long season. One more to go. Let's make it a good one. Have a good turnout. Thank you for all you guys do. We'll see you next week.
Thank you so much, Drew. We'll see you next week. That's your second place finisher, Drew Ballesteros. And here we go. Our third place driver. Jason Taylor, you got me, man?
Hey, loud and clear, man. How's it going?
Going well, and I've got to say it's probably going pretty well for you because you started dead slap last in this field and you were able to work your way without getting into any trouble and come home in third. I got to say that's a pretty good job. Are you proud of that?
That wasn't too bad. A little bit of it was pit strategy. I got spun in turn 2 on the first lap, but from there, I realized in practice if I really just babied the tires, I could just do gas only. And I just stuck with that. That gave me a little track position to catch me up, but not too bad. I've been getting a little better at this road racing thing.
Yeah, I'd say you have been getting better. And the strategy thing, on really any sort of road racing, unless you're expecting a lot of full course cautions, which is rare, the pit strategy aspect is a huge aspect here in road racing. So to be able to get that down is a big part of it. And you were able to do that. So not just hustling it on the track, you're hustling it off the track as well.
Yeah, really trying to my original goal was I was going to just stop early as soon as I could get 3 gallons in the car and then just ride on the tires. But like I said, I got spun, and so then I just kind of reversed it, and I said, well, at least let me get a lap lead, for the points. And so then once I did that, I just got gas. But it'd been nice to maybe be up there and see if I could do something with them. But I was struggling a little bit with this track. This car is so sloppy, road course racing, and just kind of, it's so easy just to get the balance off the car and just lose it. So, but not too bad. I'll take it.
Sloppy. It's a funny way to describe it. But
it is.
I
Like
understand it perfectly.
It's kind of like a Greyhound bus.
Yeah,
with soft springs.
Greyhound bus, the sport version.
Oh, it's yeah. I mean, you go off in the corners and it just leans, and it's just like, good Lord, it's definitely different. But
I would
it's a
say
fun car to drive.
It is one of the most fun and can be the most rewarding, I think, to drive, especially if you are at a track like this where you really got to hit your marks and be consistent. And doing that is a rewarding experience, and it's also fun. Did you have fun?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a challenge to drive, but I had a good time. I think of all the road courses out there, I don't know that this one's on my top 5, but getting into that first turn's hard though. And the track, because you come off the banking onto the flat and the front wheels want to lock up, and that left front keeps wanting to lock up. So I kept trying to figure out. I finally figured out if you enter going towards turn 1 right at the exit of pit road, it was a lot smoother transition there. I wish I had figured that out earlier in the night, but it's a fun car to drive, and it's a challenge, especially if you run any other type of road racing car. And then you get into this, it's like, what in the hell is, am I driving? So it's a little different.
Oh yeah, that reverts us back to the sloppiness of it. Yeah, if you're used to driving anything with a tight suspension and a purpose-built, road course chassis, this is going to be an interesting time.
A handful.
Well, Jason, you did a great job here. You came home in third. Let's hear those sponsors, everybody that helps you out on that car.
I tell you what, the biggest help I got is just like to thank my mom and dad and folks, encouraging me. They've really gotten into watching this season and following everything. And I tell you what, we got 1 race to go at Atlanta, and this is the longest season I've done in iRacing. So it's been fun, but I'm about ready for a break.
Yeah, it's been an endurance. It's been a grueling season, and there's no like we were saying earlier, no chase, no cutoffs, no none of that. So it kind of there's no free pass. Basically, you kind of dig yourself into a hole. And I'd say over the course of the season, somebody like you, Jason, you've done a great job of not digging yourself in a hole.
Yeah, I'm just going into this whole season, and when I came on the show with y'all, we talked about it as my main goal was just try to be consistent, try not to beat myself, and be a top 10 car. And looking at the results, every race I wasn't a top 10 car, I can contribute. I know exactly what happened, why it happened. and it was all kind of out of my control. But it's been a fun season, challenging season. And I tell you, I think I'm in points now where Atlanta doesn't matter about the points. So I'm going to go out there and drive the wheels off of it and see if I can get another win before the year is out. So I'm pretty much records or checkers on that race.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Atlanta's the Atlanta Journal, whatever they used to call the final race.
Yeah, the Atlanta Journal Constitution.
Yeah, that's right. So that's the sort of race where you basically, it's the last race of the season, go or go home, because you're going home anyway, so you might as well go. Yeah,
and that's my home track. I grew up, 5 miles from that place, and I've been going there since I was, as far as I can remember. I played with Hot Wheel cars in the stands while they raced when I was a child, but I've always wanted to win. I've never won there, so it's challenging. It eats tires. I'm hoping we get a big field there, so it's not a sprint and a little bit of strategy can come into it. But I'm not great on the short run speed, so I need that longer race there. I'd love to win there. It'd be a lot of fun.
Well, we're going to be rooting for you in that number 75 car as you try to pick up that win. But a great season this year that you've done, and hats off to you, man, because it's been, like I said, it's been a long, grueling season, and you've been there, like you said, in the top 10, encroaching on the top 5 every single week. So good job.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys. You've done a great job, get this wrapped up and take a little break, man. And there's big things around the corner for next year that I've heard about, and it's time to start reskinning some cars and get into the old wind tunnel and get ready to go.
That's right. We do have some big plans. Definitely, guys watching at home, keep in touch on Facebook, because we'll be announcing some stuff here in a little bit. But want to thank you, Jason Taylor, for your interview and a great season in this third place run, man.
I appreciate it. You guys have a great night.
Thank you. That's your third place finisher, Jason Taylor. A great season for him. What's your closing remarks here, J Money? This has not only been a hell of a race, but a hell of a season here in these cars.
Yeah, and what Jason Taylor was just talking about, it really kind of lit it up. Like, here we are, we're at the end of it. You're right. That was, I want to say 23 races. That's been 23 weeks. I think we had maybe one off week, if any. And it's just been blazing a trail. And these guys, especially the drivers that we had here tonight, have pretty much been the drivers from the beginning. It wasn't endurance. There's a lot of guys who couldn't make all these races. A lot of guys who really, kind of tossed up the white flag when they knew that points weren't even an option for them. So to have someone really buckle down and kind of learn and show what it took to make it this far, my hat's off to him. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort to even make it this far. So for sure, anyone finishing and starting at this point is a all-star in my opinion. So I think for the drivers that did good here today, I'm talking at least like the podium here today, I only see them showing up to Atlanta next week with momentum, with effort, with a drive, unlike a lot of other drivers. They finished good at a really hard technical track. Now they're going back to a classic oval, high banks, high speed. This is everything. And like what Jason Taylor was saying, it's checkers or records. I'm not even sure if, I'm pretty sure Jeff Ward has clinched the championship if he hasn't yet. I got to check the points and all, but I think he has, and he might even miss this last race. So really, it could be the field could be a bunch of drivers just wanting that last win, not even necessarily go over a championship, but the show ends right there. That is their championship. That's their Super Bowl. All of it's going to be on the line, and I can't wait to see next week for sure.
Oh, I can't wait either. It's going to come down to it. The last race of this classic season going to be right here on ESN next Thursday at 9 o'clock. You definitely don't want to miss that. And we want to thank you for joining us here tonight. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment, interact. We love when you guys do that. And it's a big part of why we do this. We love giving you guys a good show and hearing what you guys think. So definitely keep that up, and definitely keep checking in on the Facebook and all that, because we do have some announcements and some news that will be dropping here soon regarding next season and what we're going to be doing here on ESN. And Join us on Monday night for the All Pro Sim Racing Super Late Models on Monday at 9. And then Tuesday night is Dirt Night with J Money and the Dirty Crew. That's actually not their name. I just like calling them that because
But I like it.
yeah, that's basically what it is. You do want to do that. And then right here, 1 week from now, the final race of the season for the Cesar Classic will be crowning a champion and quite possibly another race winner for the first time. These drivers want to pick up that win, so you definitely don't want to miss it. I'm Sugar Steve Ross with that guy right there. That's J Money, Jason Anderson. We want to thank you guys for being here tonight, and we will see you next time on ESN. Have yourself a wonderful evening.